New York that we didn't know anything about in Memphis called the jerk. And so when, you know, if you remember that dance, so we was cutting in the midnight hour, and he came out and he said, well, can you put it in this jerk dance thing? That's how kind of how that delayed two came about.
Wexler he was unhappy about something. He said, hey, baby, can you just put it here, baby? Kink, put it here, baby. Hey, put it right, kink. I didn't know, so what the hell is this man talking about?
Al and I just started kind of going with him and just kind of laying back, and I just started playing these backbeats, and it probably was one of the most influential sounds that we had, because we started cutting a lot of records after Midnight Hour hit with what we call a delayed backbeat.
Pickett's gospel roots, paired with 1965's dance craze, landed Midnight Hour in the charts and paved the way for the even churchier sound of Otis Redding to cross over. Redding had been working as a chauffeur and occasional vocalist for other bands before he embarked on his own solo career.
Otis said he wanted to audition for the record company, and would I play for him? And I said, sure, I'll play for you. So we walked over to the organ, and he started singing These Arms of Mine, and I was just really moved by the way he sang it, and I was just mostly listening rather than playing, and I felt that I was involved in something good and something significant, and it was always the same with Otis. He always moved me when he sang.
Oh, she may be weary. Them young girls, they do get wearied wearing that same old shaggy dress. Yeah. But when she gets weary, try a little tenderness. Yeah. Oh, man. I know she's waiting, just anticipating a thing that she'll never possess. No. But while she's there waiting, try just a little bit of tenderness.
Otis Redding came in, and when he came in, it changed well, the lyrics and the way that he presented his version of his music and how he wanted it to go, which turned out to be not gravelly like mine and not rhythm and blues like the others. So that's how soul, I feel like, was slowly gotten into.
We sold out every place we went. We broke all attendance records. You know, we didn't go into, at that time it was the stadiums, but we were playing those small venues, and we were packing them out because they had never, you know, that gospel thing. To get an audience that involved, to tell them to stand up, do me a favor and get up. At first, you saw the reluctant, like, they weren't really sure, you know, and this guy started with this thing, get up, he's kept, it's like hypnotizing, you know, I'm chanting, get up, do me a favor, get up. dancers. You know, we would just stand up there shaking and doing the holy, as they call it, the holy dance. You know, where you slide it and shift your body all the way across the stage on one leg, all the way across. And that's something I got out of church.
I was apprehensive and very leery of exposing Otis Redding to the thousands of flower children. And here were the Jefferson Airplane that looked like they were playing with 20-foot Marshall amps, and the Grateful Dead doing their long boogies. And here comes Booker T and the MGs, and they've got their little Sears Roebuck amps and this tiny sound.
Thank you so much. All right, now.
Well, I don't think we really knew what to expect until we got there. And that was a bit of a shock treatment.
What was it? I mean, we're out there in our green mohair suits, you know, and we thought it was a job, you know, and then everybody's out there in these flowers, you know, the flowers around, you know, and all these flower shirts. And I said, holy George, I said, the world's coming to an end.
You were and you want to be free.
What an incredible performance he gave that night. In the middle of the performance, the police chief came to me and he said, everyone was out of their seats, standing on the chairs. He said, I'm going to stop the show right now if they don't sit down immediately. So I went to Otis and, you know, in my white boy way, I said, Otis, you've got to let everybody stay in their chairs, be seated and behave and listen to the teacher because they're going to stop the show. So Otis said, this is the love crowd, right? And he said, yeah, yeah. He said, well, if you love me, sit down. They all sat down, went on with the show. There's no more problem.
This is the love crowd, right? We all love each other, don't we? Am I right? Let me hear you say yeah then. All right. I've been loving you just a little bit too long. And I don't want to stop now. No, no, no. And don't make me stop now. Oh, have mercy. No.
Playing the Monterey Festival had been a gamble for Otis Redding, one which no other soul act had been prepared to take, but one which paid off. His triumphant appearance suggested that he was about to attract an even wider following. Tragically, it was to be almost his last major performance. 6 months later, while traveling to a club date in Wisconsin, his plane crashed, killing all on board.
I love you. Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. I love
Guess you better slow your Mustang down.
125 miles southeast of Memphis, deep in the heart of the Bible Belt and a stronghold of the Ku Klux Klan, some other great soul songs were coming out of a studio in the backwater town of Muscle Shoals. Called Fame, the studio was run by a former country fiddle player.
It was tough. You got to remember, this was in the 60s. And this was when George Wallace was standing in the schoolhouse door at the University of Alabama. It's when the National Guard came to Arkansas. These are tough times, and they didn't, black people I had no problem with. If I had a problem with anybody, it was